Well, first of all, thanks for coming, and it's quite. They never had to go through this press thing before in track and field, so it's all kind of new to them a little bit. Well, first of all, really we try to aim for obviously NCAAs and Big 12s while we're here at OU as our first goals, and then we kind of always have the Olympic trials in the back of our mind. But for both of them, we've really kind of kept it in the back of their mind all year. Tia hit the Olympic A standard indoors. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the A's and the B standards. You have to have the A standard to go, so she hit that early. So from that first meet on, for her, we kind of I potentially pushed her training back to get ready for the trials, because most collegiates are usually mentally fatigued and tired by the time they get to the U.S.A. meet. And then with Brittany, kind of the same thing. She actually hit the Olympic B standard in the first meet of the year, and so we knew she was only about 5 feet away at that point from Olympic A standard. So same with her in the javelin, we kind of pushed her training back as well, so she'd kind of be fresh and ready to go for the Olympic trials. Obviously, they did great. They both won NCAA championships this year. And then, we kind of I think Tia had a little bit more pressure on her because she did have the Olympic A standard, and she had to deal with more, I guess you can say, pressure from the outside of family and friends, and are you going to make the Olympic team and this and that. And there was actually 5 women in the U.S. that had the A standard. And so she had to get on that team, through the top 3. And the top 2 women in our country are both bronze medalists from 2 different world championships. So we knew if they did really well, it was going to be that one spot for those 3 women. So she came up and did a really, really great job. And then with Brittany, there was 2 women that had the A standard. So she actually had to get the A standard at the meet to go. And in obviously dramatic form, if anyone saw it on TV or anything, came in the last throw and won the Olympic trials, beat the American record holder, and hit the Olympic A standard on her birthday. So it was quite the day. So they're great friends. We've been teammates now for 3 years, and Brittany's getting married here in September. I think Tia's going to be in the wedding. So they have a lot of camaraderie with each other on and off the track, and I'm just really excited for them to go through the Olympic experience that I've gone through, and my wife has gone through. My wife's Olympian in 2000 in the javelin, and so we're just going to try to instill in them what we learned. I think our mantra is going to be no time to be nervous. Tia's never been outside the country, and this is Brittany's first big international meet. So right now our goals are really to try to make the finals and go from there. So hope that kind of explains a little bit of everything.
Brittany, where did 7 feet come from?
I don't know. I was really nervous about hitting that A standard because I knew that's the only way that I'd be able to go over to London. So before, I was just kind of praying to stay calm and kind of let God take over and see what happened. So, it wasn't for me, that's for sure.
Did you know when you let it go? Did it feel good, or what did you feel when you let it go?
It really didn't. It was kind of one of those things where I was like, oh man, I'm done after this meet, because it felt like 170 feet. It felt really easy.
I knew it was far. All I know when I saw her run and she hit that plant and throw, I knew it was a really good throw. We actually had a young lady here, Amy Bakel, who did the same thing at Big 12s and won Big 12s, and I think her last throw, and she almost fouled it. She said it didn't feel real good, and said I would have killed her if she would have fouled it intentionally. But yeah, it was probably her best throw, obviously, technically, she ever taken from a coaching standpoint.
For Brittany and Tia, we talked a little bit before you guys left about how special it was that both of you guys were getting to go. Talk about how special it is now once you've come back, that you guys are going to be going to London.
I think it didn't really hit it. It didn't really set in for me, and she made it, and I think that was probably one of the best part of the weekends, is that I didn't have to do it alone. And going overseas and being by yourself is hard enough, but sorry, to have like one of your best friends going was really cool.
Tia threw before I did, so after I saw that she made it, I was emotionally drained. I was so happy for her. We were hugging and crying, and it was just unbelievable.
Well, you didn't think it was such a good throw. At what point did you start did you only realize it when you saw it come down, or did you have as it was in the air, did you know?
I kind of heard the crowd cheer, and they went wild, so I was like, well, it might have been all right. I was hoping it wasn't 60 meters 99, since the A standard's 61. So I was just kind of watching the board, and when I saw that number come up, I knew I was in.
And then, Brian, did you have a sense of it even before it was out of her hand? Because you were talking about, the release.
Yeah, well, she had been looking pretty good all meet, but she was just kind of missing it a little bit. And we talked about just working on one thing, and I actually had her change javelins. The javelin she used was not the one she's been using all year, and I knew the way it was flying in the air was going to be far, and just a matter of how far was going to be the question. And when it went over the line, I was like, oh my goodness, please be 61 meters. And I guess that's a special jab. That's a javelin my wife used to win the Olympic trials in 2000. So
First throw with that javelin?
no, she used it a couple throws prior to that in them same meet, but she's never really used it in a meet until the Olympic trials. So so that was kind of a special moment for sentimental reasons as well.
What's the lifespan of most javelins?
Well, we only use that one for competitions, and it's been sitting in our garage for 12 years now, and we brought it out this year because I knew Brittany would have a chance to be able to use it, so we kind of pulled it out and let her rip.
Does it have a name? I mean,
It's a Nemeth jab, Nemeth, but it's a very high rated javelin. You don't want to train with them because it's kind of tough on your shoulder and arm. And with Brittany over the years, I've had to, because she transferred, I didn't have her as a freshman. She transferred in from U.S.A. after her freshman year. So I've really had to do different things with her and use javelins a lot more flexible, a lot more, not as stiff.
It's going to London, right? This javelin.
Well, they'll have, they can't use that. They provide their own, but that same javelin type will be there. So I'm sure she'll be using it.
Tia, where were you at when Brittany made her last throw? Where were you watching from?
The student athlete or the athlete section of the stands.
And your thoughts? I mean, you knew what she needed to do, right?
Yeah. Right before she threw, I said she has to throw it over that line, and we saw her she started a slow clap, and me and her family stand up, and we did the slow clap, and we screamed, and it went over the line, and we all just screamed, and I took off running to go meet her.
I heard she took out the crowd.
Well, do you think because Tia just qualified and you talked about being emotionally drained, in retrospect, in some way, was that a benefit? I mean, did the pressure come off now that you're happy for a friend or something like that?
Yeah, it did. It did. That helped a lot.
So, Tia, do you realize that you're part of the reason she's there?
It was her. I don't think it had very much to do with me. I've been telling her all year that she was capable of doing it, and she kind of was nervous, and I just told her, like, once I made it, I was like, it's your turn, She hugged me, and I said, it's your turn now, and so it was her. It wasn't, I don't think it had very much to do with me.
For both of you, and I asked this to the gymnasts as well, just, the Olympics, what does it mean? And, I'm in my 40s, and there was a time before ESPN when, the Olympics was everything. It was so big that those stars would transcend even between Olympics. Some, not so much anymore, but just what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's always been my dream to go. To be able to go over there and represent your country is a really big deal to me. I feel honored to have made the team, and it's a dream come true.
Same. You talk about it and you dream about it, and for it to actually happen is kind of surreal. I'm still waiting for everything to set in, but I'm so honored to be able to go over there and represent my country and just be with all the people that I looked up to growing up.
Go ahead.
So I've got a question from Jack Doles, who's the sports director at Grand Rapids. He said back in the day you wanted to be a sprinter. Can you tell us about that and what changed there?
In high school, I was a sprinter, and I didn't really want to throw the shot put. I didn't want to be the stereotypical thrower, you know, the big girl and who didn't run and wasn't athletic. And one of my coaches actually sat down with my parents and was like, look, she could be really good at this. She has just natural talent, and can you just make her try it? Like, this could be her way into college. And my mom sat me down and she just said, like, this could be your way into college. If you don't get a scholarship, like, you probably won't go to college. So I tried it, and of course when you're good at something, you just want to keep going. So being a freshman and keeping up with the seniors was definitely a perk of throwing the shot put. But I still got to run, and I still got to do everything on the side, so it was cool.
Brittany, how did you end up at OU? What's your story? You started at UCLA.
So I actually went to UCLA for the heptathlon, and I got there and kind of transitioned into just throwing. And Coach Blue recruited me out of high school, and I was like, no way, I'm not going to just throw. I got to do the heptathlon. He's like, well, I'm telling you, you're just going to be a thrower. I was like, oh, man. So after that first year there, I kind of knew it wasn't the right fit for me. So I gave Coach Blutreich a call, and he gave me the opportunity to come here. And I knew it would be great to work with him. He's a great coach. In my opinion, he's the best in the nation in the throws. So just to have the opportunity to come out here and work with him was a real blessing to me.
And see, all the way from Grand Rapids, why OU?
I came on my visit in the fit, and Coach Blue, actually, I heard he had known about me for a little bit from one of the coaches back in Michigan. So when I came here, he talked to me, and like, he told me what he was trying to do, and he was trying to build a program, and I wanted to be a part of something that was building. You know, I didn't want to be a part of something that was already established. And if OU had an established program, I don't think I would be here. So to be able to come here and train with what I think is the best coach in the nation is definitely a blessing.
Anyone else, anything? All right, thanks.